Good every evening, everybody, and welcome to Roll the Dice with Dave. I hope everybody's having a good night. Before we get started tonight, I hope everybody can do me a huge favor and go ahead and hit that like button if you are tuning in. And if you can also go ahead and hit the share button to let everybody know what's going on tonight. We have a great topic of conversation. We're sticking with the arts, so I'm really excited. We're going to be talking about musical theater, which I'm a big fan of, and we're going to be talking a little about hospitality and tourism management. So if you don't mind just hitting that like button and also going ahead and hitting that share button, let everybody know what's going on this evening. Also, if you are out there on YouTube, don't hesitate to subscribe to Roll the Dice with Dave, and also follow on Facebook, my fan page at Roll the Dice with Dave. So before we get started, I want to just wish everybody a good day. I hope everybody had a great long weekend. We celebrated Martin Luther King Day, and it was a wonderful time to take some time off. But hopefully you didn't stop putting in that work. It's really important that we continue to be the change that we want to see in the world. I just think it's really important we do that. Also, tomorrow we have another significant day coming up with Inauguration Day. And I think it's pretty cool that today is the last day we will ever say that we've never had a woman vice president. So I think that's pretty cool going into tomorrow. Without further ado, I'm really excited to bring on our guest. I think she's an amazing, dynamic individual, and I'm really excited to talk with her tonight about the hospitality and tourism industry, as well as her passion for the theater arts. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out our guest, Rachel Ehas. Rachel, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, David. How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to see that you're smiling and in a good mood and everything. That's good. I'm glad to see that. Do you mind just introducing yourself to the audience so they can get a chance to get to know you a little bit better?
Right, of course. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Rachel Ehas. David and I know each other from Flagler. He was my professor and the department chair of the hospitality program that I graduated from just this past spring in May. And I graduated with the BA in Theater Arts as well as a BA in Hospitality and Tourism Management. And I love theater. I love hospitality. I've been doing both for a long time, have lots of experience in both industries and different sectors of them as well. And I'm just happy to be here to talk with one of my great friends who we literally got lunch last week and just chat about the things that we love most.
I know that's the most normal thing I'd say I've done in a while with regard to Flagler and coworkers. We did have one of our coworkers flake on us and not come out to lunch with us, my colleague. But it was so nice to get a chance to go to Crave, which I hadn't been to since I first got to Flag. So, I mean, it's been almost a year and a half since I've eaten at Crave. So it was nice to get together and support one of our local businesses who's in a new location. So that was nice. And I actually ate some vegetables, right, which I normally don't eat. So that would have made my family happy. Do you mind telling everybody where you're from originally, where you grew up?
Right. So I'm from South Florida. It's a little town called Coral Springs. It's pretty suburban. It's about 4 hours south of St. Augustine. And I grew up there for 18 years of my life and then came up to St. Augustine and Flagler, and I'm still here. So can't get rid of me yet.
So you've only ever lived in Florida, is what you're saying?
Correct. And I might kind of want out of it soon because I've had enough. But I do love Florida. It's always been my home, and I'm sure after I venture off and have, my life and whatnot, I'll come back because this is home and we love the warm weather.
Cool. All right. I want to go ahead and move into this next part because you and I have had many conversations, and you have shifted into what I would say is the world of almost becoming a social media superstar, right? Because I've seen a lot of your videos on TikTok. I've seen you singing. But one of the things we were talking about is the potential of TikTok being an avenue to help promote the theater arts. Do you mind just giving me and sharing with the audience your viewpoints on TikTok as a medium to help promote theater arts?
Right. So I think it's one of the best social media platforms currently that you can broadcast yourself. They have a lot of kind of different opportunities. You can post yourself singing, dancing. They have accompanist. I know I follow some musicians and accompanist that post links and their songs, and you can sing to them and kind of have your own little take on them. People can watch them, people can share and review. It's overall like a really great platform. There are tons of theater kids on there that are all just singing their heart out, and we're all just kind of one big family that are, just using another platform to showcase what we can do in the music and art that we make.
So one question I have for you, you mentioned there are a lot of theater kids out there using TikTok. Is there
Yeah.
any one person that you particularly follow that you just go, oh man, I absolutely love the content they're putting out from a theater arts perspective?
Oh gosh, that's hard.
I didn't mean to
There's
put you on the
this
spot. I was just wondering if there was one that was your favorite.
there is this one younger girl, I can't remember her name, but she does covers. She's a pianist. She does covers of all these different musical theater songs from Wicked to Mean Girls, and she posts like her reaction duets to people singing with her accompaniment. And she's just like the kindest soul. She's an incredible pianist. She does lots of lives with everybody too, just talking and having Q&A sessions with fellow actors about their experience and their favorite musicals and stuff like that. And I always watch her stuff and sing along. So
That's cool. If you ever remember her name, please go ahead and let me know so we can go ahead and check her out and go ahead and blast it out. Maybe other people
Should look her
can
up.
look. So another thing I wanted to talk to you about, because you had mentioned it, so I was trying to track it down, but it was only up there, like we said, for a short period of time, that they did Ratatouille TikTok style. Do you
Yes.
mind talking a little bit about that and kind of how that caught your attention and what that was all about?
Right. So at first, we all know Ratatouille is like the Disney movie that everybody's seen. It's about that little rat that becomes best friends with the head chef of a French restaurant, and then they run around and have this whole kind of fiasco together. And for some reason, TikTok and Broadway literally partnered, and they were like, let's do this little charity organization. Let's find out a way to do this safely from home, where we can incorporate Broadway actors and a fun material like Ratatouille. And make it into a musical. So they got together all of these like really famous Broadway actors and recorded it and have it streamed TikTok style. So that there are all these like little squares, these Broadway actors singing songs that were made for Ratatouille. But all the proceeds went to the Actors Fund, it's for actors that got laid off during COVID, which is actually really amazing. And it was only streaming, as David and I found out, from like January 1st to January 4th. And you could buy tickets anywhere ranging from like $5 to $100. And I'm sad that I missed it because I didn't realize it was only like streamed for a certain amount of time. But I'm sure it was a sensation, and they had lots of big names, and I'm sure it was super fun. Maybe I can find it somewhere on the internet, a bootleg, but.
Well, one of the things that triggered my interest was, and it was when all this first started happening, I remember you were involved in a virtual production. I had actually gotten some tickets and checked it out. Do you mind talking a little about that? Because I can't remember exactly. I know it was like a virtual cabaret.
Yeah, it was a virtual cabaret with the Five and Dime Theater, which is a small like non-profit theater in Jacksonville. I believe Lee Hamby is the artistic director, and I love him. He's a director I've worked with before. And yeah, we did this virtual cabaret where we picked our own songs and actually went into, this is pre-COVID, we went into like little slots, 15-minute slots with the pianists, sang our song, they recorded us, and then they put all of that into a video together, kind of one after another, where you could tip the actor for singing or the singer for singing their choice of song and just kind of singing their heart out. And I've done other ones as well with different theaters that I can't think of the name of right now, but same kind of thing. Like we record at home, like with our own accompaniment, and then we send it in, and they kind of compile it all, and you can just have like a little night where you pull out some wine, some popcorn, and you see some nice little people sing a little cabaret.
Actually, yeah, that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that because I also had the pleasure of seeing you sing live in a real cabaret production that was done at Flagler College. So hopefully later on tonight, I can convince you to maybe drop a few bars for us. We'll see how that goes. So we'll see how that goes. Because everybody that I've talked to that has seen you in productions absolutely loves your voice. And I remember the character you played in that cabaret. I thought it was one of the coolest characters. It was the woman who killed all her husbands?
Yeah, she killed all her husbands. So essentially, for those of you that were unfortunately not there and couldn't see a recording, I essentially ran around the room with a knife, singing to all the men that I killed as my husbands. And there were all different ways. I poisoned one of them. I threw one off the balcony, and I was like pushing around a knife, like picking my prey. And it was a very, very fun night organized by Kip Tazy and the rest of the amazing cabaret cast. And I miss it very much. I think they're doing it again this semester, but
it's going to be a little bit different. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different.
Right.
But I'm excited to see how it's done differently because I know Kip's going to do a great job with it. So
yes.
Excited about that. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to hear that golden voice a little bit later. So I want to jump into the next little section, talk about HTM highlights. You were also very much involved in the hospitality and tourism management program. You had a career basically lined up. Can you tell us a little bit about how COVID impacted your hospitality and tourism management career?
Right. So prior or post graduating, I actually was supposed to start a job with the Breakers Palm Beach as the guest relations coordinator. I'd actually had gotten and interviewed for that job back in November of the previous year, and they actually hired me 7 months out. So I was stoked that I had something literally within 2 weeks of graduating. I had a job, I had a house, I had a roommate, everything was super planned. I was so prepared. And unfortunately, when COVID hit, they had to push my start date all the way until September. So unfortunately, that job post-grad was also going to be my internship that would finish up my hospitality degree because I started a semester late. So I had to find a new outlet because I couldn't wait until September to officially finish my degree. So therefore, I did a little digging. I stuck around St. Augustine and unfortunately got an internship with the Hippo, or Mayday Ice Cream, which is a local food establishment, ice cream, hippo popsicles in St. Augustine. They're amazing. I had the best time with them. I love them and can't rave about them. If you haven't been to the Hippo or Mayday or Cousteau's in St. Augustine / Jacksonville, you need to. They're amazing. But they're a great place. And I finished up my internship with them and then just started job hunting and luckily landed myself right back at Flagler. And now I work in the education department. So hospitality has done me wonders. Something I've grown to love as much as I love theater. And I think they really can just do nothing but help each other out.
So my question to you is, do you see yourself making your way back into the hospitality industry, or do you think you're going to kind of ride out where you're at, or are you going to maybe try to jump back into the theater arts aspect of your life?
So theater's always been a big part of my life. It's been like the primary, like I always be in school, but then I had theater on the side, or I had a show I was in, or I had rehearsal or whatnot. But it's still such a heavy mix right now, and I think it's going to stay that way because, due to current times, like the hospitality job is the industry is what I have a job in right now, and I can do these other side gigs on the side that are unpaid because the theater industry is still kind of up and running at this point, trying to figure its gears again. So I think it's kind of like a medium ground. I think I'll always have an option either way, and I think once I become stable enough, I will just take the flight up to New York and not look back. But I do always know that I have another job or another opportunity in hospitality like waiting for me as long as I put my foot through the door. And I love it here.
If you decide to head up to New York, let me know because I got plenty of my tribe that are up in New York that they can help look out for you if you need any help with anything. I love this. Sure. So here's one of the comments, and I'm guessing that they're saying you sound like Constance Hatchaway from The Haunted Mansion. I would take that as a.
Is that the one that's in the Globe that she's like?
I'm not sure. Murph, if you can go ahead and let us know which one is Constance Hatchaway. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the one, but hopefully we'll get confirmation. And also everybody talking about the hospitality internship, the good old days.
Right.
So this individual right here, Annie Middleberg, I remember she was also big into the arts, and she actually did a ballet routine in front of my intro class to earn some extra credit points back in the ECU days. So I remember that.
She's the wife that kills her husband. The one dead or alive.
Awesome.
My mom and I used to go on Haunted Mansion, and though she scares me. If I sound like her, that's a little eerie, but I'll take it as a compliment.
No, that's awesome. It keeps you in character, and I love it. So we have Annie, who's also a big Disney fanatic. She jumped right in there, letting everybody know, nope, that is not the one. So I want to move on to the next topic, which is I put out a little poll question just to kind of see what people respond. So in your opinion, do you prefer the classic musicals more to the modern day musicals? I don't know if you'd be happy to hear this or not, but about 65% of the respondents said they prefer the classics to the modern day musical. And my question to you is, do you prefer the classics to the modern day?
So I think the classics are so important. Okay, they laid the foundation for every artist going forward. They laid the foundation of this beautiful, wonderful, like just easy and honest, truthful acting and simple stories with like lots of heart. I mean, you think of like Sound of Music, of Carousel, of countless other, Annie Get Your Gun, stuff like that. Like these just heartfelt musicals, these feel good moments. I really think like, you know, you put that on and anybody from my age up, we're all singing the tune. We all know it. But I can appreciate modern musicals. I love them so much. I mean, my favorite musical to this day is Book of Mormon, which is literally written by the writers of South Park. But I think the classics are not to be forgotten because they laid the foundation for everything else to come and all the new ideas to spark. So I love both as much, but the classics are not to be forgotten, in my opinion.
You know, I agree with you there. I think I have much more love for the classics, but I do like some of the new ones that have come out. So, of course, I'll jump on the big one that everybody talks about, Hamilton. But I think what I enjoy more about Hamilton is not necessarily the uniqueness of the musical piece, but the significance of the casting.
Right.
You know, to me, that is such a significant aspect that pretty much the entire cast are people of color. And I think that's such an inspiring aspect that there are so many young men and young women that can look at it now and say, oh, I can do that and be there. But I always feel that Broadway and musicals have always been more accepting of people in general and look beyond everything, right? They don't care about skin tone. They don't care about sexual orientation. They don't care about religious beliefs. If you come with passion and perform, then you're in the house. So my sister has a question for you. You ever think about working for Disney? Entertainment plus hospitality, there are your worlds colliding.
I have thought about working for Disney. I, for a long time, thought my dream was to be a performer at Disney, like in the parades. Funny enough, I am only tall enough to play Alice or Tinkerbell because I am 5'2", and to be a princess, you have to be above 5'6". I have highly considered it, and it's definitely not something. It's still something I would consider because I think I could wear multiple hats in Disney. I think it's a matter of, number one, going to auditions, which I would promise myself in the years to come, I would just go to Disney auditions, even if I didn't get past the first round, which I've heard they're kind of rigorous because they're pretty typecast. You know, you're looking for a certain character. But I definitely want to try. It's in my book, Universal, Disney, all that. I'm down with it. I would hopefully be open to it.
You know what I would love to see you in if you were going to do a Disney thing? I think you would be great at the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review, right? So, oh man, I think you would kill it. You don't know the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review at Disney World? I think you would kill that.
What is that? Why I'm blanking.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Right, you just lost cool points not knowing what the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review is. So it's this great like variety type show. You sit down. It's family style serving, so they have these big buckets of chicken and they have the best like strawberry shortcakes. You go in. You're listening to the singing and everything. Oh, this is great. So here we go. Oh my God, Rachel, you and I need to have drinks, Rivera. So
let's do it.
Go ahead and make that happen. But oh man, it's so much fun. It's one of my favorite things to do in Disney World, period. Yeah. And to show that I'm not the only one, I'm not losing my mind, I'm not crazy. Annie also agrees Hoop-Dee-Doo is the best.
I'm missing out.
Oh yeah, you're missing out. So we may actually have to have kind of a Flagler field trip and
I'm
go to Hoop-Dee-Doo Review if they're doing it in this aspect right now, because it is awesome. I absolutely love it. It is so
I can't believe I didn't even know what it was, but I will look it up and we will take a trip.
We'll forgive you on that one, right? We'll forgive you on that.
But I lost cool points, so
yeah, you did lose a little bit. So now I want to talk a little bit about your worlds colliding. You have so much from a hospitality standpoint, from a theater art standpoint. So I first want to get into more of your theater art side. When did you first realize you had this passion for theater arts?
Gosh, you could ask my mom. I would sing around the house since I was like the age of 6, just always singing, humming. I was in dance for a while, and dance, I enjoyed it, but it like wasn't my thing. I was always singing. So I think one day my mom approached me. She's like, you know, why don't you try theater? And I was like, what's theater? She put me in the show called The Aristocats. And, you know, that's the classic little movie. But the best part about this story is that I wore a neon pink and green wig for the show. And I was, I think, 13 years old. And I was like petrified that everyone was going to stare at me. I looked like an idiot. And everybody in the cast was like, Rachel, you're the coolest one on stage. You are the coolest cat. I had a solo. I was like, yeah, man. It's like my one little liner in the show. And I just had so much fun singing and dancing on stage with everybody else, having just a grand old time. And I swear to you, I have not looked back since. I've been in probably about 40 plus musicals, plays, reviews, cabarets, choirs, stuff like that. My parents have been to every single one of them. So believe it or not, we've literally counted. And I can't imagine myself doing anything else. I've tried, and during COVID really showed me even more how much I just love my industry, and it's part of my heart.
That's awesome. I love that. That's a great little story. So do you have a favorite performance that you've ever done that you go, oh, that was not necessarily your best, but I'm saying that your favorite? Being part of the class or being involved in that musical, is there one that you go, that is my favorite, that stands out from everything else?
I feel like there's a couple. I would say that they're at Flagler. My capstone in theater this past fall, or the previous year fall, I was in this production called The Old Man, the Old Moon. You saw it. It was the coolest musical you've ever seen. Makeshift. Everything we made was from our hands, was from our ideas. The script they give you is just kind of like an outline with you know, dialogue of these characters, but the story just comes to life in every cast individual way. It was a cast of just 7 of us. I played 6 different characters. I had 3 different dialects. I sweated every night in that show so much because I did not stop moving for 90 minutes. And it was just, I played a new instrument. We had a live, I could rave on. It was just the coolest thing to be a part of in every which way. And also All Shook Up, which was my junior year at Flagler. I got to be the lead star next to a Broadway star, which I can't even fathom how that's still a sentence that comes out of my mouth. So that was pretty awesome. And I would play Natalie a million times again. Plus an Elvis musical, how can you say no?
Yeah, I was going to say, how can you say no? And I remember, because I was still new to the Flagler environment when you had done that. I mean, everybody was like, oh my gosh, did you see Rachel? Oh, have you seen Rachel? Have you seen Rachel in this? Have you seen? And I was like, yeah, we saw Rachel in this. We're really proud of her. We're excited. And then, of course, you know, the theater department was like, she's ours. That wasn't a hospitality thing. That was a theater arts thing. But I remember the hype around it. It was such a great performance. Now, we did get a question from somebody that says there are some open auditions in a number of states, such as Kansas, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Where do you think you're going to end up next?
Oh, God.
They're already trying to put you in productions now all over the place.
Hey, I'm open for business. Throw them my way. I definitely am open to any auditions. I think I would like to move to Atlanta because I mean, the film scene there is like ginormous right now. I mean, Netflix and Hulu, they're all shooting. It's like that hub of Atlanta. Everything is there. And there's also a lot of theater in Atlanta because it's a large city. So the options are endless for me. It's really just a matter of when the time is right, when everything is just still kind of up and running. We're still kind of in this middle ground of I could make the big move, but I may be out of a job for like 8 months before things get better. So at this point, I'm a little bit on hold, but that's okay because once it comes back up, I think I will find my way. But I'm still auditioning many places. Yeah.
Cool. So here's one question. It was like, who was the Broadway star?
Yes, his name is Justin Matthew Sargent. He was, I believe, the understudy for one of the main roles in Rock of Ages and he's a Broadway equity actor, been in a couple shows. He's one of Kip's best friends. And he somehow convinced this amazing Broadway star to come to Flagler and be in our show with us. So he came the week of Tech Week, was with us all week, practicing, learning the parts, learning the harmonies, learning the blocking. And then we opened with the shows with him. And as soon as he got there, I felt like on air. And I even have Justin's number. I remember when the show finished, he's like, "You're amazing. I like loved working with you. Here's my number. You ever come to New York, my wife and I will take you out. You need anything, call me up. An awesome guy. Such a talented guy. I can't rave about him enough. I had the best time with him, and what an incredible experience I could say that I had in college.
Well, I will say this. It's like so this sums it up perfect. This is all chills. I can feel your passion through the video. I mean, I'm not sitting next to you. I'm at my house. You're at your place, but I can feel the passion and excitement in your voice, your body language, and it's infectious because like I feel like just super excited just listening to you talk about all that stuff. So I really appreciate your passion and excitement for it. I want to touch on something else, kind of jump into the hospitality piece.
Right.
So we talked about your passion for theater arts. When did you start to develop a passion for hospitality and tourism management?
Right. So I actually added that degree the same semester I came into Flagler with. I was already a theater major, but I believe Zach Cole had just started the program. It probably was in the second semester. And something that theater really, really taught me was time management and how to be organized and how to properly make myself get everything done with an orderly time. I had homework, I had this, I had that. I always knew what was going on. I was always ready for what was next. I was always prepared. Theater always taught me that. And I just always loved being a planner, had things to look forward to. I love being with people, with friends. I love making things together. And that sounds a lot like the event coordinating industry, which falls under the hospitality kind of hub. And so when I saw that the hospitality major was a thing, I talked to my mom and I said, I don't even think I asked her. I just added it because as an actor, you always have to have a backup plan. And I've always had loved event planning and just having something to look forward to, being with people, creating this event for them, specialized. And I kind of just fell right into that, and I added that major. And I was taking 19 credit hours, theater classes and hospitality, and doing everything in between. So throughout my coursework of the 4 years, I ended up getting a job in the special events department with the ladies that I love, Karis Parker, Lauren Pruitt, Stephanie Burgess, Anna Gilbert, Andrew Nodellis, all the good gang.
I was about to say, yeah, I don't know if Flagler events would be the same without any of them. So it's already a little different without like Lauren Pruitt being around.
Yeah, right.
Because they made such a good team. I was really fortunate to come in and be working with all of them. But as a matter of fact, I want to say that's how we first met, right? So
yeah,
it was I think they invited me to the Columbia because you were receiving a scholarship through hospitality, and that was the first time we met. Do you mind touching on that a little bit? How did you end up being nominated and winning that scholarship for hospitality?
Right. So, Flagler sends out the scholarships that are all available to all Flagler students in the spring of every year. And there was a hospitality one that was for strictly hospitality majors, I believe in their junior year with a certain GPA. And I applied. I made a really nice letter. I had my mom look over it as a teacher, and I had Lauren look at it. And I was fortunate enough to get the scholarship, which really helped me financially. And I got to meet you, and we got to meet with I believe it was a CEO or the co-founder of the Columbia restaurant, have a conversation with him about, my plans for the hospitality industry and what I see myself doing in it. And the guy who is the co-founder had a large foundation in theater. I think he was a huge donor in the Strauss Center in Tampa. So we talked about that and how much I love event coordinating and how all the special events within theaters, like donor events, fundraising, all that stuff kind of collides with theater and on stage and off. So I don't know. It's amazing. I got lucky, if I'm being real honest.
Well, that's an awesome story. Can you talk a little bit? How do you think your passion, desire, and expertise in one area helps you in the other? So how do you think they kind of literally collide? So how does your theater background help you in hospitality, and how does your hospitality background help you in theater? Right.
So in theater, you're a team. You're a cast. The production, the crew, the cast, the technicians. In the hospitality world, you have your back of house, you have your crew, you have your event managers, you have your stage people, you have your runners, you have everybody, the overseers, the managers. You're a cast, you're a crew, you're a family. and you learn to be a part of a team. You learn you're all working toward the same goal, whether that be a performance or whether that be getting excellent customer service and having high profit in sales and all of that good stuff. So I think they really coincide. I mean, you got to be a people person in both of these industries, and they kind of work and vice versa. I love being around people. I'm an energetic, charismatic person, and that helped me directly in my hospitality career, talking to people, being their right-hand man, being approachable. But as far as like in other terms, other skills I learned because of theater and how they work in hospitality is, like I said, event planning, time management, leadership skills, team working skills, being organized, time-oriented, being detailed, easy to adapt to things that change at the second, improvise on theater, improvise when an order goes wrong, improvise when an event goes wrong and you have to think on your feet. They just kind of they overlap in this seamless way that nobody really thinks about, which I think is so great that we can talk about this here, and I can just shed my own personal light on two worlds that don't seem like they interlap, but they invisibly do.
They invisibly do. Cool. I want to talk a little bit about something you do that I'm a big fan of. I've watched just about every episode of your little spiel that you do for Flagler College, and let me go ahead and see if I can. Let me go ahead and share this real quick so everybody can see it. So you do a little show on Facebook called A Case of the Mondays. Do you mind just talking about what is A Case of the Mondays?
Right. So A Case of the Mondays is a talk show that I created with the lovely approval from the department chair of the education department, where I interview weekly on Mondays at 10:30 a.m. current education students at Flagler College, as well as alumni, and talk to them about prominent areas in the education world, societies, teachers, educators that are prominent today and things that are impacting our schools. And it's really amazing. It's a fun little pick-me-up, just like a 10-minute little episode that comes on every Monday. I have a topic, I have a question for all of these students and alumni that let me interview them, and we just kind of talk about them, share our opinions and views, how they differ, how they coincide, and how it's more of a positive thing too. So it's like a pick me up, because we come into work on Monday and we're all dragging, we're tired, we don't, we need to kickstart our week. So this is kind of like a pick me up, a little happy-go-lucky. Let's kick our start on Monday. Are you ready for it? And it's just something really fun I created. I'm really proud of it, and so thankful that it became a hit. But David gave me the idea, so I'm not going to take all the credit.
I was going to say, you're giving me too much credit. We were having a conversation, and this is all you. This is all you. I absolutely love it. So this leads me to the next little piece. How has your theater background helped you with Case of the Mondays?
Well, it definitely helps with the interviewing aspect, and being that kind of easy person to talk to for these people. It's bright and cheery, and I get to just kind of have this informal chat with them about their opinions on this, and it just kind of feels like I'm talking to them in person, just having like a normal conversation, but it's just like this quirky thing, and I'm almost like performing. I mean, a talk show, it's not live like this one, which I hope one day to convert it to this. I want to have a special episode that's live in honor of David and how he inspires me all the freaking time, that I could do a live performance. It really is me performing. I'm being myself, which I'm not used to. I'm usually used to playing a character. But it's just really fun and something that I really enjoy doing. And whenever I can get that little performance aspect in right now, especially when theater isn't as popular as it would normally be, it definitely makes an impact in my life.
So I want to actually play this a little bit. Hopefully the audio will come through, just so people can get a little taste of. I mean, I love it. I think it's the coolest thing that you do. Hopefully this will work out and people can hear it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Happy New Year. I hope you had a great holiday break. I hope you played it with some friends, some family, all while being very, very safe. We are back and better than ever here in 2021 with some new guests, some new topics, and a new logo. Now, I hope you're just as excited as I am right now, because this is our kickoff episode of the new year, which means we got some special guests this week. We got a really cool topic, and I can't wait to get into it. If you are just tuning in for the new year, welcome. My name is Rachel Ehas. I am the admin assistant here in the education department at Flagler College.
Yo, check out that flow, girl. I tell you what, you're killing it. Absolutely love it. So you just bring a lot of energy and excitement to it, and I just think it's a great thing that you do.
Thank you.
You definitely have a fan. I always find myself on, now the killer is on Mondays. I can't catch it as soon as it comes out because now I teach it that time. So I end up watching it at 11. Right after my class finishes, I go back to my office and I'm catching it, I guess on a replay, you would say. But I absolutely love it. There was one, and I love your edits. So there was one, you go, let's catch up with our guest, like, and shoot it through. I just think it's great how you bring so much of your theater passion into it. I just think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. So I want to move into our next little topic of conversation, and let me go ahead and get rid of this little banner, right? So I'm going to go ahead and make our screens a little bit bigger. You and I are going to just talk about some of the classical musicals, and then we're going to talk about movie musicals. And I just want to get your take on some of it. And if you feel so inclined, please go ahead and feel free to bust out in song, right? So here we go. So the first thing I want to go to is we're going to talk about some classic musicals.
Okay.
And these are the ones that, well, I guess not necessarily classical musicals, but these are ones that have been determined to be some of the more popular ones on Broadway. So the first one that came up when I looked through it, Mamma Mia. I don't know if you.
Okay. Yes.
Did you see Mamma Mia in the movie musical version, or did you get a chance to see it on like a Broadway production?
I actually got to see it at the Alhambra Theater in Jacksonville. My friend Mark Wildman was in it. And that's like an actually equity house in Jacksonville. It's a dinner theater, so you can have dinner while you're watching a performance. So I got to see it with him in it, and it's one of those feel-good musicals, obviously inspired by ABBA completely. The whole ABBA soundtrack. It's very fun. You sing along, you're watching the characters. Mamma Mia is not my favorite, and that might be controversial, but it is a good musical. It's a feel-good one. It's always like, just a happy-go-lucky kind of show. I mean, you kind of can't leave that theater or that performance not like kind of feeling good and singing an ABBA song on your way home. So I love that one. It's a good one.
Can I break out into song too, or will that disturb the show? No, it won't disturb the show. Feel free to break out in the song. They'll probably hear it in the background as my wife is in the other room listening to it. So Mamma Mia, that's one that has been played in this house several times from a movie musical standpoint. We'll get to it, but I'd say I'm a fan. I like the music. It's playing.
Yeah.
So here's one that popped up, Sound of Music. Your thoughts on the Sound of Music?
I mean, you can't go wrong. Anything with Julie Andrews in it is a godsend. I mean, she's an angel. Still to this day, she sounds like the most beautiful angelic voice I've ever heard in my life. So Sound of Music is probably one of my all-time favorites by far. They're actually doing that at the Orange Park Community Theater. I'm considering auditioning for it.
Oh, you should. Okay, so what part would you look at auditioning for?
I'm not sure. I don't think.
Fräulein? Are you going for Fräulein?
Fräulein's the you are 16 going on 17. That one?
Yeah.
That one. Probably her. Yeah.
Fräulein Maria? Yeah.
Fräulein. No, Maria's the main one. I think of the daughter, the oldest daughter.
Oh, you're thinking of the daughter. Oh, gosh. What was her name?
Is it?
It wasn't, because Fräulein Maria is Julie Andrews. I can't remember the daughter's name.
I can't either. But I know she sings the "You are 16, going on 17."
Yeah. Oh man, look at that. Voices coming in. Yeah, the voices coming in. There we go. Lisa. There we go. Yes. Lovely Lisa.
Lisa. Yes, Lisa.
If there was anybody
thank you, Annie.
It was Annie. Yes. Annie, thank you so much.
Annie.
Always coming in clutch. It's that pirate nature in the house. Thank you so much. So another popular one that they talk about on Broadway, and actually I had a chance to see this on Broadway, and I absolutely loved it. Hairspray.
I love Hairspray. I really do love Hairspray. Another show I'd love to be in. I have the whole soundtrack. Okay, so here's a little secret. I listen to show tunes like nobody's business. I have a playlist on Spotify that has over 100 musical theater songs, all of my own favorites. I call it
You
musical
gotta
theater
share.
bops.
You got to share it. What's the name on Spotify so we can look it up? Yeah, you got to share
It's
that
called
one.
Musical Bop. I will share it. It's amazing. It's all my favorites, and Hairspray is definitely on there. I love me some Link, some Tracy, all of it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I loved watching it on Broadway, but I think my favorite version of it is the one that had John Travolta playing.
I would agree. I
really like that one. That one, I don't know what it is, man. I just love that one.
The cast is just like ridiculously good. You know, they did Hairspray live on, you know, kind of like they did like the Peter Pan live, I think they did Rent live, and I actually didn't see any of those, but I didn't see the Hairspray one either. But I know it had Ariana Grande in it, but I still think I saw highlights. I would prefer the movie musical with John Travolta and Zac Efron and Amanda Bynes. Brigadoon?
Yeah, so
I know Brigadoon.
So what are your thoughts about Brigadoon?
Brigadoon
That's
is
my
beautiful.
mom, by the way, is asking, yeah.
Brigadoon is a beautiful musical. The music is gorgeous. Kind of reminds me of like Porgy and Bess. I love that one. I know that my high school did it before I got there, but I remember seeing it and just being in awe of the kids on stage singing these beautiful high notes and stuff like that. I have seen Bat Boy. I know a few songs from. I haven't seen it, but I've heard a few songs from Bat Boy. I think there's ones at the 3-bedroom house. 3-bedroom house. But it is obscure, and I don't know much about it. I think Carrie Butler was in it, and anything that Carrie Butler is amazing.
Okay, that's so it's funny because Annie mentions that. I remember that, and I was like, "Bat Boy, what the hell is Bat Boy?" Right?
Yeah.
So, but I remember when it was at ECU. A chorus line. A chorus line is one of the ones that I have in my notes. That's what I keep looking at. I typed up the one. So, what are your thoughts on the chorus line?
You know, I was in a chorus line.
You were in a chorus line. That's right. You were in a chorus line.
I was just in a chorus line in July at the Island Theater. I played Diana, who is the Puerto Rican dancer, and I sang the iconic, like what I did.
The best one, right?
I did play the best one.
Right? It's all about that Boricua line.
Yes. See, and I sang the 2 best songs in the show, which was What I Did for Love and Nothing. And I missed that cast. That was one of the hardest shows I've done as well. Just insane dancing. When wearing a leotard on stage, that was hard. But I mean, God, I love that musical. I could probably get up and do the dance.
I remember seeing a lot of your posts. You were like, "Oh my gosh, this is the hardest I've ever done." Oh, and what even made it even tougher. I mean, you were doing that in the middle of this pandemic, so you were,
right.
You know, that adds another layer of difficulty to it. How about Into the Woods?
Love it. Stephen Sondheim. He is a tricky man. His lyrics are incredibly intelligent. They're sophisticated, and they're complex, and they're repetitive, but in like the most genius way possible. And I mean, the plot is also like just crazy amazing. Like so many things are going on at once, counterparts on top of like 5 people talking at once, but you're still following it. Stephen Sondheim is a genius. So any show by him is a 10 out of 10 in my book.
Well, cool. And I put this up, but we're going to be coming to kind of movie musicals. And even though my sister is asking about movies that are not necessarily musicals, but they sing in it, we'll jump back to that in a little bit. But I wanted to put it up just so this way it's on your mind as well as mine, that we revisit this one. So Josiah, we're not dismissing this. We're tabling it. We're going to come right back to that one. Let me go ahead and look at. So, okay, this one is probably my all-time favorite. West Side Story.
I like West Side Story a lot. So another Stephen Sondheim and Lin-Manuel Miranda too.
I absolutely love West Side Story. It's just got a place in my heart, and you know, it's got the Puerto Rican ties to it. I absolutely love it. And
it's the story of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I could watch this over and over and over and over. And you know, and then the music. There's just some songs that just stick with. Exactly right. You know, that's the one that everybody thinks I want to live in America. So that's the big one, and also
or
jet. When you're a
I
jet.
feel pretty. I'm so pretty.
Yeah, so all those songs.
Na, na,
just-
na, 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 na. That one.
Yeah, you sound so much better. I'm gonna stop because you sound way better than I do. So Mary Poppins, your thoughts? I don't know if you ever saw it on Broadway or did you just see it in movie form?
I've seen a few shows on Broadway. They're more of the modern ones. Unfortunately, the classic ones I've just kind of seen at like national or community wise or other theaters. But why did I just blank? What was the musical you just told me?
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. I really like Mary Poppins. And funny enough, they just redid Mary Poppins with Emma Blunt and Lin-Manuel Miranda in the whole like movie music. Actually, I loved it. And I think it was beautifully done and kind of like revamped in this new modern way that still had that like nostalgia of the original because they had these like 3D crazy costumes on the film. And I was like, that is just incredible. Like bringing back the nostalgia of it, but still having like a modern twist. Like I can appreciate that a lot.
So can I? But I'll be the first one to admit I wasn't too impressed with Lin-Manuel Miranda as kind of the Bert character. You know what I mean? It just didn't.
I always feel like he's playing.
I loved Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins. I thought
Yeah.
she was great because I could see her as being Mary Poppins. I could also see her like in some of the other movies she's in, like kicking ass as a strong female lead. But then I could see her as Mary Poppins. She's so versatile.
She is. What did you feel about?
I just couldn't get into Lin-Manuel. I just couldn't. So
Funny you mentioned that. So his little number, like in that big, a cover is not a book. That song where it's like the big number in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
He has this big rap part in the middle of this storytelling kind of song, and this is a Disney show, like a Disney movie, a kids thing. Kids don't follow rap, like small children don't follow rap like that. And I was kind of weirded out when he went on and on in this rap for about 3 minutes, which I couldn't even follow him. He was talking so fast that I had to watch it like 3 more times to actually figure out the lyrics. So that's the only problem I had with that movie, was that his actual part, I don't know how children could have followed the story he was telling when it was going like, I was like, oh my God, we're not in Hamilton.
Well, see, I watch a lot of stuff with closed captioning, so this way I can catch it and not miss it. And I had to do it with Hamilton because some of the parts I couldn't understand what they were saying. So
see,
I'm glad I'm in the habit of some of these things I watch closed captioned anyway, so I don't miss anything because I just have to get all these details. I may have to rewatch that Mary Poppins and just have the closed caption to make sure I'm getting everything there. But I just wasn't a fan of him in that. Now I love him in Hamilton. Right, I will be the first to say that I absolutely loved him in Hamilton, but I'm just not buying him in the Mary Poppins flick. So here's another one of my favorites. This is probably my second favorite one of all time. Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes. 10 out of 10.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just read this and
adult life?
Closed caption, is that just adult life? I don't know, but I'm all about the closed caption. I'm so sorry, Rachel.
No,
put that up, and I just couldn't help but laugh.
That's funny. I use closed captions too.
Okay, and you're.
I'm 22. I use closed captions. Let the secret be out. Almost all of us nowadays, we're lazy. We read it.
No, it doesn't make you.
Josiah.
Absorb, right? Yeah, you just want to absorb the info.
Yeah.
But I love Little Shop of Horrors. I remember seeing it, as a kid growing up.
Yeah, me too. And
just being infatuated with Little Shop of Horrors. Every time it came on, just watching it. And whenever I watch it, the songs are stuck in my head for days. So, I'll walk around the house singing "Suddenly Seymour." Yeah, right. So you're just sitting there and it's just stuck in your head over and over and over again. So I'm glad to hear that you approve of that one. Let's see. I put down another couple. Newsies.
I love Newsies. I love the dancing in Newsies so much. They're so. I mean, to think that you can get a cast of like 20, 30 boys that can all jump in the air higher than I could possibly imagine is crazy to me. And I can't even like jump more than probably a foot off the ground. And my short legs don't want to elongate that anymore. But I love Newsies. I think the music is great. I've sung a couple songs from Newsies. The female lead has some really great, fun songs that are actually pretty like influential to our time now.
Newsies was big in our house for a long time. The kids were all about Newsies. So the tap scene.
The tap scene. I got me. I could pull out my tap shoes right now.
Oh my God! I tell you what, you are so talented. You're gonna make all of us feel bad at how non-talented we are. So here's another one. While I'm looking over my notes real quick to see it. How about Sweeney Todd?
Sweeney Todd is good. Another Stephen Sondheim.
The butcher barber of. I can't remember the rest, but I did see it. Johnny Depp's version in the movie.
Yeah, and I have too.
I love Johnny Depp. I actually enjoyed that.
I think it's a really good musical. It's not necessarily my cup of tea because it's kind of gory. I mean, he does chop off these men's head and then bake them into pies. The music is beautiful. Coming
from the woman who killed all her husbands in
it was one song, Dave. One song.
That's right. Is that what we're getting with that one?
Listen, I was assigned.
And coming through clutch again. Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
I don't know that one.
So
that's the name of the character.
Yeah. So I tell you what, Annie coming through clutch. I'm so glad you tuned in, Annie. Yes, you're the best. Thank you. So here's another one, Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
Big on that one. Or as we say, joking around, Phantom of the Opera. Let's see. Les Miserables.
Yes, absolutely. It's a classic. Very sad, but a classic and beautiful. It's like a operetta.
How about Wicked?
Oh, absolutely. I've actually seen a lot of these. I saw Wicked. That was, I think, probably the second show I've ever seen. I saw like the national tour at the Broward Center of the Performing Arts in South Florida with my mom. I'll sing to Elphaba to the day I die.
Okay. All right. So now I want to jump back to kind of what my sister had posed. She talked about what about old movies where they sing. Any thoughts on Pillow Talk, My Fair Lady, etc.? Any of your thoughts?
I'm not familiar with Pillow Talk, but I'm familiar with My Fair Lady and Carousel, where like the movie musicals where they do sing. Again, classics. You know, like you got the pictures where sometimes they have color, sometimes they don't. Same with like Wizard of Oz, which isn't necessarily a musical, but they sing. And Judy Garland, I mean, love it. Love it. Can't go wrong. It's a classic. You put it on and you even though you've seen it a bajillion times, you're going to watch it again.
All right, cool. So now I want to run through some musicals that most people have probably seen in a movie standpoint.
It's rapid fire.
Not necessarily any particular order, but I put them down. You can just tell me yes or no if you want to add some thoughts to it. So okay. Wizard of Oz. Thoughts on the Wizard of Oz. Not the Wiz, but the Wizard of Oz.
Yes. Love it.
Judy Garland. Fan? All right. How about Grease?
Yes.
All right. So if somebody were to tell me that they didn't like Grease, I would question how much I could actually trust this individual, right? So who doesn't love Grease? And I remember in college, there were roommates, 4 girls. They used to hang out all together. Well, I remember they would have parties, and as the party would go on, the Grease soundtrack typically would come on. Right. And I think I was the only dude that hung out with them that actually knew all the words to all the Grease songs and would end up singing with them as the night comes to an end and everybody's had a few too many, right? So then I could also jump in and sing the dude parts that were
Grease Lightning.
They're all you could put that on and it's money. It's automatic.
Yes, it is money.
And who doesn't love Olivia Newton-John in Grease?
Of course, yeah. Her what's that duet? The duet that they sing at the end of Grease. I'm blanking. You're the one that I want. That's a typical. I will always sing that song at karaoke. At karaoke night, I'll sing "Hopelessly Devoted to You." You can't go wrong with Olivia Newton-John or Grease.
Yes, and you see, this is why I love you, Annie. You are teaching your daughter the movements to Grease Lightning when she was 6 months old. That's money right there. Yes. All right, let's go ahead and we talked about West Side Story, and that's the one that I typically remember seeing. Little Shop of Horrors, The Sound of Music. So this one I did put a note because we did talk about the Wizard of Oz. Were you a
Mhm.
fan of the Wiz?
Yeah, definitely.
So what was it about the Wiz that you actually liked?
I'm actually more familiar with like the Wiz, it's a musical, and like the soundtrack to the Wiz is super jazzy and it's amazing. And I've seen it. I think I saw it at Players by the Sea in Jacksonville, and the cast is just crazy. It's also super funny too.
So my sister asked, who really exposed me to this, mom or dad? Yeah, definitely not dad. You know that. So yeah, definitely not dad. So let me go ahead and run through this. Now this one right here, I didn't necessarily would have considered it a movie musical, but it was on one of the lists. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Love it. I've actually
Yeah,
that
and,
was like
and that was.
I
No,
have
go
a
ahead.
funny story. If my mom is watching, she knows this one. But I think the real moment after the moment with the wig in my first show, I was in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and it's also like a little teeny bopper, like young teens musical that I did when I was like 14. And I got cast as the Candyman, and he sings like Candyman Candyman, that song. And at the end of that song, there's a high note. And that was like my first high note. Like first of all, I had a solo at like 14, and I sing this little high note, and I think a lot of people in the audience were like, "This little tiny 4'2" girl is singing this little high note," and I felt like a star in that moment singing the Oompa Loompa song. But anyways, that has a special place in my heart because I feel for that. That was another part of my young career where I was like, I love singing on stage and I love doing this. So Willy Wonka, a good musical, a young musical, not for necessarily like the Broadway stage, but for young and like teens and young adults. Yeah.
How about the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Love it. Love it. Love it.
You
Love
see,
it.
I never got into it. I know they do big things at movie theaters. People come dressed, and it's big
Yeah.
events. People really got big into it. Have seen it once and thought, oh, okay, I could see the cult following.
Yeah. The movie is peculiar. There's no plot. It's just to explain. I feel like someone might have been tripping on like a drug when they wrote it, but it's fun and it makes you feel good and it's out there. I mean, it's again one of those feel good things. Everybody loves it. It's around Halloween. It's the spirit of the kind of season during then. And I know when I was in college, I was in APO, which is the Alpha Psi Omega Theater Honor Society. I was the secretary, but we always did a fundraiser on Halloween called at the Corazon Theater. We did the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and we had shadow casts, and it was a huge event. I mean, so many Flagler kids would show up dressed and it was a big. And we didn't get to do it this year, obviously, because sometimes it comes in junction with the productions that were going on during the semester. But it is a huge thing, and all the proceeds we had goes right back to Broadway Cares. So a wonderful thing, a wonderful show that everyone just feels good to, and it's fun. It's fun. It's crazy, but it's fun.
Josiah, we're talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show. So how about this one, Dreamgirls? The one with I think it was Destiny's Child? Was it Destiny's Child that was Dreamgirl? Like Beyonce and Jennifer Hudson, right? They were
Jennifer Hudson, yeah.
I've never seen Dreamgirls. So I feel kind of bad. I can't say. Yeah, I was just kind of like, I just lost cool points, right? So I just dropped.
You lost cool points, yeah.
Cool points there. Let's see.
I think your sister said Moulin Rouge. Yeah, I haven't watched. They just made a revival actually on Broadway with Aaron Tveit. I'm dropping names, but Aaron Tveit is a very large Broadway star. He's amazing. He was playing the lead. It was just like really popular before COVID hit. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. I haven't watched it myself. I have heard some of the songs. They are really good. I should watch it more, but I've heard good things. The music is pretty.
So I've seen the Moulin Rouge with I think it was it Nicole Kidman? I think is that the one everybody's talking about?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but if that's the one, I do remember that one. So this one I feel everybody should absolutely love. Again, I'm not sure I can trust somebody who doesn't like this one. Annie.
Oh, duh. Yeah, of course.
It's the hard knock life for us, right? So
I played Pepper.
So let's see. There were a couple of other ones. Fame. I don't know if you ever saw Fame, but I remember
I've been in a lot of these
like
musicals.
7 or
David.
8 years old, I think, when it came out, and I remember seeing it just kind of in passing.
Yeah, love it.
Forever, I wanna learn.
It's so funny. Most of these things that you're naming, I've been in these. I've been in these shows.
That is awesome, though. That is so cool. So are you gonna sing? You also have your ukulele there. I know you do have that with you. So if you want to go ahead and bust it too. Yeah.
For everyone watching, he bribed me to sing. No, I'm kidding. I know a lot of songs on the ukulele, but I'll sing a classic that everybody will know.
Let's see. Oh, can you sing us something from The Showman, The Greatest Showman?
I mean, I could pull up the chords.
No, the reason why I asked about that is I remember when it came out, I guess about 3-4 years ago now. Everybody's like, I want to go see The Greatest Showman. And I thought,
I love
Wolverine is in The Greatest Showman. This is going to be trash. How good could it be? Then
he started as a Broadway star.
I know, right? And I know, but my thought was none of that counted, right? None of that counts. Right. He's Wolverine now, right? So he's badass Wolverine. None of that counts. But then I saw Greatest Showman, and I was like, man, that is so good. That is so. I love the soundtrack. I love him in it, and it even has Zac Efron. I think it has Zendaya.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole, oh man, it's just awesome. Oh, this is great. So this is to her husband. Her brother, that's her husband's man crush. That is great. The man can do no wrong. Going through a couple of other ones. So this one right here, this is another one I thought was going to be absolute trash, right? I'm not going to lie. So when it first kind of came up and I was thinking, oh man, I'm going to have to check that out. I am not the boy next door. Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
So, La La Land.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be absolute trash. I really did. Then I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh. Now here's why. Ryan Gosling, I saw him in Drive.
Yeah.
He's a badass in that movie. And then I saw him, what is it? Something in the Pines, or he was in that other movie where he was the motorcycle guy, decides to rob a bank. He's in it with Bradley Cooper. Again, kind of a badass character. So then to see him in this, and I was like, this is not going to work. Emma Stone, I could see doing this, but not Ryan Gosling. And then I saw it and I was like, this works. This is really good.
I disagree with you completely. From maybe I'm biased from a theater standpoint.
You don't like it?
No. Okay, I like it. The plot is beautiful. The music is beautiful. The costumes are gorgeous. Like the cinematography and like the film itself and the plot is beautiful. However, they casted 2 actors who do not sing. They are not singers. That soundtrack could have been, the music is beautiful, but I'm telling you, the vocals, if they would have casted someone like Broadway people, or even just singers, not Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, because I'm telling you, the only song in that whole entire soundtrack that she actually had support, like physical breath support as a singer, is the last song. I watched that whole musical and was mad. I was like, these are not singers. And how are you going to call La La Land? It's a musical. It's a movie musical, and the main people don't sing well.
Oh, you see, because there's the difference. I'm just your average Joe when it comes to this. So I'm sitting there like, hey, this is legit. I'm digging it. And you're going, yeah, no, they're not singers.
But in contrast, The Greatest Showman, incredible, and singers. They're singers. Like the people they put in there, they're actors and singers, and they did a fantastic job. You know, my 2 cents.
Oh no, that's great. So there's a lot of other ones out there, but I want to end this little piece on this one because this was another one that I just wasn't sure I was going to completely dig, but I absolutely loved it. Rocket Man. Don't tell me you haven't seen it. No, Rocket Man. What's his name? Taron Egerton. He plays Elton John. Oh my gosh, you got to see it.
I lost cool points.
You have to see it. That one, and I really liked what was it? Bohemian Rhapsody, I think was the one.
Yeah, that's really good.
That one was awesome. But I was surprised because I was used to seeing, I think his last name is Edgerton, the one that played Elton John, seeing him as Eggsy in The Kingsman, right? So
Mhm.
in my mind, he's this kind of actor, and then to see him play Elton John, I just absolutely loved him. So I'm sorry
Yeah.
we ended on one that you did not know. Oh, I feel bad.
It's okay. No, it's not something to research.
So, but you got to see it. I absolutely loved the movie. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And as we get ready to wrap up, do you mind maybe playing something and singing for us before we go into the last little piece? If you don't want to, that's okay.
I'm trying to think of what to play. I know like a classic. Like if everyone wants to hear like The Little Mermaid, I can do that one.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and bust that out for us. That'll
Okay.
be cool.
Ukuleles aren't supposed to have straps, but mine does. Okay. I think it's tuned. So this is Little Mermaid under the sea, I think. Seaweed is always greener. Oh, I need my capo. That's okay. And somebody that you dream about going up there, but that is a big mistake. Just look at the world around. It's not working today.
I'm sorry, but thank you so much for indulging me with just a little bit. So as we wrap up tonight and kind of get into the last little piece, I want to give you a chance for the last little rant and rave with Dave. If there's anything you would like to add to tonight's broadcast, and it could be about anything you want, the stage is yours, Rachel.
The stage is mine, David.
Yes.
I did have a question that we kind of talked about earlier for you. So I'm turning the tables.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. So I read this article that spoke about managers of the entertainment venues and how it kind of correlates with restaurant establishments and how we can integrate this key topic. And the key topic is the customer experience. So experiences are distinct from services as services from physical goods, right? Meaning customers, in other words, are the audience and the staff are the players. So from a hospitality standpoint, the staff take on a different characterization of the role they play within the experience. They put on a costume that, take like Hooters, for example. They wear a costume, or trying to think like a Disney themed restaurant, right? They wear a certain costume to resemble and be a part of the culture of the restaurant. So what if, as an industry, we were to embrace that concept of theater and how we can integrate it into management and the operation of the business? So how might we be adding to the value of the customer service and creating a truly memorable experience? Might be a loaded question, but.
No, it's not really a loaded question. I think we see it already with some of your more successful operations that embrace that and make it part of their everyday corporate culture. And I'm going to use one place that seems really simple, but it's part of their culture, and it almost is part of their theatrical performance, would you say? Do you really think everybody at Chick-fil-A is having the most brilliant day when people come by, that they're like, have a blessed day, my pleasure? It's a complete aspect. But when you look at their costumes typically always look good. They look clean, they look pressed, they look ready to go, smiles on their faces. You could be having a bad day, but once you get there and it's showtime, to a theatrical event, it's showtime and you're ready to go. So I think as hospitality embraces that concept, that it is like giving an unbelievable experience similar to what you're going to get to a theatrical performance, the cream will rise to the crop. There's a reason we talk about a chorus line. There's a reason we talk about Mary Poppins. It's because those experiences were second to none. And it's that same philosophy and concept in the hospitality industry. So hospitality and theater are more like this than people realize. They really are more like this than people realize. So that's my take on it. You really did put me on the spot. I wasn't expecting to have to answer a question. I thought I was just going to be asking questions. So
no, I think you raise a good point about it. And I think another point I'd like to make with that is it'll, sometimes from management to restaurant to establishment to venue, whatever, you know, you got to create that team bond. You got to create that cast, that infinite bond between your players. And when you think of it in the theater aspect, as you're a cast, you're a stage, you're a family, and you're not playing a role, but you're a part of this team, that you're all working toward one goal. If you treat it more like a performance, or like you're coming in and playing with your friends every day, because essentially that's what I do on stage. I'm playing with my friends, and I'm singing on stage with my friends, and we're having a grand old time. And if you kind of phrase it like that, I feel like management-wise, it could have a domino effect of maybe a better workplace in general, or just see what the outcome could be. So, but I agree with you completely.
Thank you so much for your time tonight, Rachel, and just hang on for just a second. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please don't forget to hit those likes and shares. Rachel, thank you again. I appreciate you. And next week, I'm really excited. I've been hunting this guy down for a while. He teaches at Flagler College as well, but he teaches in the criminology department. So I want to put this up. We're going to be talking with Josh Beal. He's a criminologist. We're going to be talking about everything from jury selection, research on aspects of potentially why people commit crimes, why people are infatuated with different criminals and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to sitting with Josh Beal next week. I think it's going to be an exciting, fun time. So hopefully you folks can tune in. And Rachel, once again, thank you so much for your time this evening. I truly appreciate you.
Thank you,
and
David.
Who tuned in. I hope you have a great evening. And if you get a chance, please check out the inauguration, because it is a momentous occasion. Like I said, tonight is the first time that when we look at it, we have never had a woman vice president. This is the last time we're going to be able to say that, and that's an exciting time. So again, everybody, I hope you have a great night and a great rest of your week.